What's going on, y'all? You're back. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. I'm your host, PACO. You're listening to Occupy the Media. And Henry, I think we're starting off with some reverb, so I'm going to call. Okay, it looks like it went away. Okay, apologize for that. I know we're good right now. Sometimes it comes and goes. But I want to thank you if you're tuning in this hour. And if you were listening last hour, shout out to Graham for that interview. We definitely appreciate it. You guys check out that speech. King County leadership called out at Washington State Convention on YouTube. Great speech. We need to call them out. So I appreciate that interview. Don't forget that I'm on every day, 10 to 12 noon Eastern Time and 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on RonPaulRadio.com. And I just want to say Ron Paul Radio is listener supported. We need your help to stay on the air and fight the mainstream media blackout. Go to RonPaulRadio.com and donate via the chip-in on the right-hand side of the page. Remember, every donation of $20 or more gets a free blimp courtesy of our sponsors at RonPaulBlimps.com. And if you're out there listening, please spread the message that we do have Henry on the line, Ron Paul supporter who was assaulted at the convention in Louisiana over the weekend. And Henry, you with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming on, and I just wanted to give you the floor and hoping you can kind of take us back. If you have to go back to the beginning of the convention, kind of give us a visual of what happened over the weekend.
Well, I am on the Republican State Central Committee representing my district in Northeast Louisiana. I'm a Ron Paul supporter. I was not a delegate. I have advised the delegates on how to participate parliamentary procedure. I'm a retired agriculture teacher, and we taught parliamentary procedure. So I'm kind of a semi-expert on Robert's Rules of Order. So I've been working with them on, how to perform during the convention. Well, at the convention, the established chairman, the chairman of the Republican State Convention, and state, and the chairman of the party himself was his name Roger Villery. Roger opened the convention. They, the last minute, changed the rules to make a quorum 1/3. Many other just rules were unbelievable. Anyway, he would not follow Robert's Rules of Order, and the chairman was removed by 2/3 of the membership.
Okay, let me just stop you there real quick. A quorum, correct me if I'm wrong, a quorum is supposed to be 2/3, and he's trying to make a quorum 1/3.
Right.
Okay, all right.
The Ron Paul people had 2/3 of the delegates that were at the convention. What he was wanting to do was put the Ron Paul people completely out and let the 1/3 left run the convention.
Exactly.
But anyway, the 2/3 voted him out, removed him as chairman. I was asked to stand by, and if that took place, they were going to elect me chairman. They did. I was properly nominated from the floor, was elected chairman of the convention. I was taking the floor. I had already had one resolution to go through, one motion, one vote to go through. And about that time I looked up, and I was surrounded by Shreveport police. And they promptly drugged me over the back of a chair and put me on the floor. I am a state elected official, being on the Republican State Central Committee, and there's a law in Louisiana on assaulting elected officials. It's a felony. 6 policemen committed a felony on me. I have an artificial hip. I was drugged over a chair and injured, and they had to call for an ambulance. I was carried to the hospital. They did an MRI on me. They did a CAT scan. They did x-rays. I'm back on a walking cane. I've got to go back to the doctor again. But just I was injured by, there's no other words to use, but they were acting like Nazis. I was duly elected, and then I was taken out. Well, as soon as I was put down on the floor, my vice chairman immediately took over, the duly elected vice chairman, and then she took over and ran the rest of the convention. The police did not harass her or do anything.
She was. What was she? Was she a Ron Paul supporter or no?
Yes, she was a Ron Paul supporter.
Okay,
she was the vice chairman that was elected when I was elected chairman. And then of course, I was on the floor. They had to call for an ambulance. I was put on a body board, carried to the hospital, and I was released from this happened about 10:30 in the morning. I was released from the hospital about 4:30 that afternoon after numerous tests. She was, nothing happened. While I was at the hospital, the police arrived, and I was arrested at the hospital for resisting arrest and for remaining after being told to leave, trespassing. They never told me to leave, but it was real funny. I had just been elected chairman of the convention, and I was also had a room at the hotel where the convention was taking place, and I returned later that day and spent the night again at the hotel on Saturday night. So, I'm facing trial on 2 counts there, and got these injuries. My hospital bill so far amounts to over $6,000.
Wow, that is just.
And I do, like I said, I do have artificial hip. I had my hip replaced 3 years ago. I'm in quite a bit of pain today. I'm concerned about it, and I am going to, have to go back to my regular doctor and see him on that. It was totally uncalled for. The powers to be, the established Republican Party, membership of the executive committee just overstepped their boundaries. The Shreveport police went nuts. These were all off-duty policemen. I don't know where they came up with them from, but they did not think. They did not reason anything out. They just, reacted. And then after they reacted, even on the video, they are trying to take cameras away from people and get people's ID away from them. And I just would like all the listeners to just go to YouTube and look at what actually happened. It explains it all. And like I said, it's unbelievable that this is America.
This is what we're coming to, and it is so sad that...
No, you are wrong. It's not what we're coming to. We're here.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. You're so right. That's what I be trying to tell people, that we're already here. That's exactly the best way to put it.
We're here. We're not coming to it. We're here.
Yeah. And we've got an example, like you said, on YouTube right now. You can see what happened to Henry. Now, Graham was saying that he heard some police officers laughing. Do you remember hearing that?
I did not remember hearing it, but you can look at the YouTube videos. You can see them laughing and smiling. And I've heard one, and I have it. My attorney has the copy, but one of the policemen is heard saying, "I hope I hurt him real good."
Wow, that is.
So it's just unbelievable. I am going to push this as far as I can push it. I have attorneys working on it. There was several attorneys that was Ron Paul delegates that were near me. They saw it all. Several of them had videotaped it. I'm in correspondence with them. I have a personal friend that is my attorney in Northeast Louisiana that is going to be working on it with them. I'm take everything slow and do it the right way. But I want to bring charges against the police for assault on an elected official in Louisiana.
Okay, well, let's hold it right there. We're about to go to a break. I'm sorry, Henry. We're about to go to a break, so we'll be right back. I'm your host, PACO. You're listening to Occupy the Media. Stay tuned.
At ronpaulradio.com.
What's going on, y'all? You're back I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. And let's see here, Henry. Man, Skype is just playing games with me. I tell you, boy, I get the reverb, and as soon as I'm about to say something, it cuts off. So we're good to go. Real quick, Henry, we got some little postings here in the chat room, and they're letting me know that Ben Swan's trying to get a hold of you. Do you know who Ben Swan is?
I just brought him up on Facebook, and I will communicate with him after we get through with our show.
Perfect. They put the email, but you probably can get it from there. If you need it, let me know.
I'm looking at him right now. Perfect.
That's great. We would definitely want to get you on the local news coverage, the mainstream media, anywhere we can, and get the word out, because we know when articles are written about these conventions, without interviewing, Ron Paul supporters that was there, we tend to get the bad side of the story, and it's unfortunate. Yes. Now, we got about maybe 20 to 30 more listeners that actually jump in since the commercial break, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot that didn't even hear your story. We might have to get back to it maybe in the next segment. But you said that you don't want to take any legal action. Is that correct? I think we were talking about that right before the break.
No, I do want to take legal action, but I'm not going to do anything real hasty.
Okay.
I'm consulting my attorneys. I will take legal action. I plan to have the police that were involved in it arrested for assault on an elected official, which is a felony in the state of Louisiana, and whatever other charges I can charge them with. I feel that my civil rights were violated. They, did not let me participate in the convention that I was duly elected chairman in. And, if there was any conspiracy, we need to look into possibly the RICO Act. Let's look at some of the people on the state Republican Party or the National Republican Party and what kind of collusion did they have to come up with this idea to quote, take me out.
Well, somebody posted here in the chat, they were asking who authorized the police to arrest you.
That's a good question, and who authorized them? Well, it had to come from the head, Roger Villery.
Yeah.
And
you said you just saw them. I'm sorry?
Roger is the chairman of the Republican Party in the state of Louisiana, which he will have to go. I am on the state central committee, and when we meet again, that's going to be one of the first things I push, the removal of Roger Vedder and the whole executive staff and the hired staff of the state Republican Party. Everyone needs to go.
Oh, yes. When something like that happens, I mean, that's just an embarrassment to the GOP. They should be ashamed of themselves to let something like that happen.
I've been a Republican since 1980, a proud Republican. I'm going to continue being a Republican, but we've got to get these. Basically, what they did to me was criminal. We've got to get these criminals out of control of our party. And I mean, if there's any doubt in anybody's mind, let them go to YouTube and watch the videos. They can see that I did not resist. They can see that I was just attacked.
Yes,
so,
and we might have to get
the videos will stand. The videos will stand by themselves. They're even putting out word now that the videos are edited. I mean, you can go look at them and see that. Very amateur put together videos, just run right off people's cameras. You can tell they're not edited.
Well, let me ask you this. For those that are unaware, how did what were the results of the convention?
The convention was Ron Paul had 2/3 of the vote. The Ron Paul people put in the delegates that we were entitled to by I'm going to have to use the word, the very weird makeup of the way everything was supposed to be done. We had a party primary. Ron Paul did not get as many votes in the primary, but the primary did not allocate many delegates. It was more of a straw poll. It just allocated a few delegates. Where most of the delegates came from was our caucuses. And Ron Paul swept 4 of our congressional districts. We have 6 districts in Louisiana, and he took 4 of them and did not take 2 of them. So, we came out of there with the majority vote. And I mean, it was just pretty well cut and dry when we got to the convention. We had 2/3 of the vote going into the convention. And, you know, so they came up with rules at the last minute that was just unbelievable. For example, what I told earlier about the quorum would be 1/3. We could not change any. We could not change anything. Everything was going to be dictated by the chairman. The chairman could not be removed. Just a little of everything.
Now,
and then the chairman did not participate properly and did not follow Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay, Henry, we got some people who are asking about Alex. Did you want to speak about what happened to Alex at the convention?
Alex, I was across the room from Alex. I was actually in the back waiting during the convention, and I saw Alex at the front. Alex was an elected chairman of a committee, and he got up to give a report, and they would not recognize him. He rose to point of order, and they would not do anything. And the next thing I knew, I looked up, and they were dragging Alex out. And I'm literally dragging him out of the convention hall. There were Shreveport police, but I saw one Louisiana State trooper with him. A sergeant. But I do not know his name, but I saw the 3 stripes on his arm. And so he was a sergeant with the Louisiana State Police.
Do we know if he was
they
injured?
Drug him, yeah, I do know he was injured. They injured 2 of his fingers. They pulled him out of the hall, according to him, laid him on the floor, and started pulling and twisting his fingers, one on each side of him. And they were screaming at him, "Stop resisting." And he was screaming back at them, "I'm not resisting. Y'all are pulling me from both sides." So they injured his fingers and kind of hurt his leg a little bit, and really intimidated him, shook him up, and told him that he had to leave or he would be arrested and go to jail. And it shook him up pretty bad, and he went back to his hotel and did not come back.
So is this Louisiana or Guantanamo? Because it sounds like you're giving me like a horror film. This is crazy. I can't believe they're taking it to this extent.
It is unbelievable that this is Louisiana, and he is a elected delegate. Elected delegates, and be treated like this in Shreveport, Louisiana. Like you said, it sounds like a third world nation.
It does, and it's sad.
And I mean, they get you down on the ground and then they torture you. And people see this. You can see them dragging him out, but they got him out in the hallway where nobody could see, and then that's when they damaged his fingers. I saw him yesterday morning. He was still quite shook up about it, and I told him, I said, let's get together with the attorneys, and they could work together on this. And he's told me, let me get back with you. I just really don't know what I want to do.
Okay, let's come back to that. We're about to head to a break, Henry, so we'll be right back. I'm your host, PACO. You're listening to Occupy the Media. Stay tuned.
Here's what's happening. Scott Horton of Anti-War.
Ron Paul's run is just making the American people so much more guilty. You had 2 chances, 2 giant, silver, golden platter chances. Peace, bring the troops home, close the bases around the world, bring them home, put the Navy on our shores, point it out, and then just leave them there. We can reinstate our Bill of Rights.
RawRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every day. Medical marijuana is my last resort, and it helps me when all other drugs have failed. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Dr. Ron Paul, more than 4,000 babies delivered. A man of faith.
What's going on, y'all? You're back. I'm your host, PACO, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. Right now, we got a bunch of people that have just been tuning in the last 2 segments. About to break a record here for my show. I've never had 67 people in the chat room. So that is awesome. That's great. I'm trying to keep up with your questions and your guys' comments. Henry, you're getting a lot of love out here. People definitely appreciate you backing Ron Paul, and then they feel bad for what you went through. And I just want to say also, you guys, somebody posted up the phone number, and I think some people were calling to the police department to let their opinions be heard. If you post it back up, okay, here it go. 318-673-7300. Again, that's 318-673-7300. That's the Shreveport Police Department if you want to let your opinions be heard. And now we got a lot of people tuning in. Just want to let you know we have Henry on the line, the Ron Paul supporter who was assaulted at the convention over the weekend. So if you have any questions, please post it. We have let him know about Ben Swan, so he is going to be getting in contact with Ben Swan. Just to let all you guys know out there. Also, don't forget there is a Twitter bomb at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, posted by Yowan on Daily Paul. So, again, please check that out. Don't forget that I'm on every day, you guys, 10 to 12 noon Eastern Time and 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time every day, Monday through Friday on RonPaulRadio.com. You want any more interviews? Anybody else you think we should get on the air? You let me know. You need to come on there? You let me know, and we'll get you on. Okay, so, Henry, we're back. Somebody was asking if the GOP has at all got in contact with either you or Alex to find out how you guys are doing.
No one. No one from the state party office has called or checked on me, nor the national GOP. Nobody has called other than the Ron Paul supporters have been checking on me.
Wow. Well, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they're willing to actually, call the police on you, I'm pretty sure they don't care what happens to anybody. As long as
and like I said, I am an elected member of the Republican State Central Committee in Louisiana. They take out one of their own members.
Because you're not going along. Because you're not going along.
I'm not going along with them.
Exactly. You're not going along with them. Now, before the break, you were speaking a little bit more about Alex, and we got cut off, and I apologize for that. You were saying that Alex was getting basically stretched from both sides. Pretty much.
He was being pulled and stretched by both sides, and one of them had a hold of his hand and twisting his fingers, and possibly broke his finger. He thinks that two of them are broke. He does not know, of course, until he has an X-ray. But I saw him on Sunday, and he's got a little finger brace on the fingers, and he was complaining they were hurting him. I told him that Monday when he got back to Baton Rouge, he needed to go to his doctor and be checked out fully. He was also limping a little bit and complaining about his shoulder. But he was pretty stressed out and pretty intimidated by the police. I was hurt and put down, but they never did intimidate me. It just did not scare me. I know they can hurt you, but they're not going to scare me, to make me run.
So you kind of felt like even though they were hurting you, you still were the one with the power, so to speak. You didn't let them, intimidate you.
I'm not going to let them do it and intimidate me. I'm going to fight this all the way. It will not be dropped. We're going to take it slow. We're not going to do anything hasty. But I want to make sure. I want the police to go to jail. I want to make sure that this does not happen again. And if we can prove that any of the hierarchy of the Republican Party did this, that needs to be investigated, and they need to be fully prosecuted if there's any charges that can be brought against them.
You let me know if there's anything.
I've got one big question. If you look at racketeering in the RICO Act, some of this collusion that has gone on between, let's say, police or some of the other people, and this is through interstate, through the internet, through telephone lines, some of this RICO Act might fall into it. We need a full-fledged investigation into not only mine, but all these other problems that are going on, and who is calling the shots and having this done.
Exactly. It needs to be exposed. I mean, just point blank. They can't just do things like this and expect to sweep it under the rug, and we're just supposed to let it go by. Meanwhile, you're getting medical bills. We got Alex, who, God knows what he's thinking in his head, in his mind, because he's being threatened. And so, I mean, I can only imagine. I'm going to a convention to place my vote, and I get my fingers broken and, tossed out of the place, and you're going to the hospital, which I'm pretty sure you never planned on going to the hospital that day. So,
no.
I mean, I think Ron Paul supporters, even for us, this is an eye opener for us to see just exactly, what it is we're dealing with.
And I want all the listeners to hear me and hear me real good. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go look it up on YouTube. Just search Henry Herford Shreveport on YouTube and look at the videos.
I think somebody posted it. Yeah, I think somebody posted in the chat, and if they haven't, I think Yowan can grab that. If somebody can post that up, we definitely appreciate. I know it's all over the YouTube right now. And also, Henry, if Alex ever does decide to, that he wants to speak out, you be sure to let him know that we want him to come on Ron Paul Radio and let it all out.
I will.
And, give him the floor.
I will.
And I think I don't know if we had some other questions. One person wanted to know, do you expect these things to also happen in Tampa?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I think a lot of us, in the back of our minds, we're just kind of like nervous to what to think about Tampa. If they're willing to do these at the local level, where there's no media attention, what are they going to do when there is national media there? I know.
Well, it's been done in the past. What's going to be done, and then they're going to try to blame the Ron Paul people for it. But what they did to us this weekend, we did not provoke it. But they, say we're the bad guys because we bucked the establishment. We played their ball game by their rules. We won, and then they, still don't want to go with the right stuff.
And I'm curious, Henry, how long have you been a Ron Paul supporter?
How long have I been? For many years. I followed Ron Paul for years. I have been a basic backer of him. I really came out strong this time for him. Like I said, I've been a Republican since 1980, but I have looked to see where this country is going to, and it's not the same country that it was in 1980. I mean, it's going down fast. And our biggest enemy is not Obama and the Democrats. It's our own Republican Party.
And do you feel that there's no possible way that you could vote for Mitt Romney and that it's only Ron Paul?
At this moment, there's no way I can vote for Romney. No way at all.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
I mean, I see very little difference. Louisiana is known for their old politician, Huey Long. And he said that back in the 1930s, he said there wasn't very much difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. One would strip a tree down from the top down, and the other party would go from the roots up.
Yeah.
And you'd still have the same results, and it's just about happened. I mean, there doesn't seem to be much difference. Ron Paul is the only sensible one out there, and it's so simple. Follow the Constitution. If it ain't in the book, it's not there. If it's not in the Constitution, don't do it.
Exactly.
That is so simple.
Yep. It's very simple. Just follow it. What did Ron Paul say when they brought up the lawyers in the debate? He said, "Why don't you just open the Constitution and read it?"
That's
Why we need lawyers? What we need lawyers for? Because Mitt Romney. Matter of fact, that was Mitt Romney who said that. Mitt Romney said, "Oh, I'll let the lawyers deal with it." I forgot what the question was, but
they try to paint, the local party tries to paint Ron Paul supporters as nuts, idiots. Most of the delegates were made up of doctors.
Okay,
lawyers,
let's come back to that. We'll talk about that. We're about to head to a break. I'm your host, PACO. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Dana, and I started out as a Ron Paul fan just like you.
On the air and fight the mainstream media blackout, go to ronpaulradio.com and donate via the chip-in on the right-hand side of the page. Remember, every donation of $20 or more gets a free blimp courtesy of our sponsors at ronpaulblimps.com. And what I want to say to everybody out there that's listening, because it looks like I broke a record. We've had more listeners on this show than I've had in any of my shows before, and we got over 70 people in the chat room. And what I want to say is that if you guys can keep supporting Ron Paul Radio, keep tuning in. This is what we're trying to do. We are trying to go against the mainstream media, the big machine that is lying to us. We need to form our own media, do our own interviews, and get the message out there and make sure that the truth isn't getting stomped on by all the propaganda that's being released out there. And I just want to say, if you guys want to check out this interview and you missed it earlier, you guys can go to ronpaulradio.com. You can scroll down on the podcast, and you can check out any show that was on today. This one will be posted up there soon. And also, my last hour we had on Graham. He's a delegate from King County, and he has a video on YouTube. Leadership called out at Washington State Convention. He's the one that actually gave a speech talking about the shenanigans that the GOP was doing. So, again, we want to get this information out to you guys. Please show your support. Keep tuning in. I'm Paco on Facebook, 2 words. It's Paco Elijah. On YouTube, Paco757. And on Twitter, Occupy the MSM. Now, somebody's been posting here in the chat that there's a website you can go to report fraud, electionfraudremedy.com. I think someone was asking if you had the time to check that out too, Henry. Maybe you can post your story up there. Again, that's electionfraudremedy.com. Okay, Henry, you still with me?
Yes.
Okay, well, man, you're getting a lot of shout-outs, a lot of love in the chat room. I can't even keep up with all of them. So all I can say is that everybody is so grateful that you're speaking out. So I just want to say thank you so much for for coming on the show and speaking to us. We got a few more minutes left. Is there anything else that you want to touch on or speak about?
Well, the powers to be seem to try to paint all the Ron Paul delegates and backers as nuts and freaks. The Louisiana delegation was made up of many attorneys, numerous doctors, more doctors than I've ever seen involved in the political campaign before in my life. I'm 56 years old. A lot of professional people. I myself am a retired teacher. I hold a master's degree from Mississippi State University in agriculture. And, we're not the idiots out there. I don't know what's going to come out of this with me as far as my health goes. I am having some problems with my hip. Like I said, I'm going to have to go back and have some more treatments, go run into some money, and I will be pushing this all the way. I'm going to tell the people, don't believe what you're hearing from us. Go look at the YouTube videos. Just look up Google or put on Henry Herford's report and read and look at what they film. It explains it all. And if they'll do it to me in Shreveport, Louisiana, they're going to do it to somebody in Dallas, Texas during the Texas Convention, or in Washington, D.C., or in Tampa, Florida. And you mentioned earlier, this is going to happen now. It is happening now. It happened to me on Saturday.
It is. It's happening right now, and it's happening in our face, and it's on camera for the world to see exactly the shenanigans that they're pulling. I mean, we're going against a big machine, and unfortunately, you had to beat a little sacrifice, I guess you could call it, and it's sad to have to watch this treat you like that because it makes people were talking about it yesterday in the chat room. Matter of fact, you guys could join us at ronpaultribune.com, click on the voice chat, and we were talking about that in there. Is how some of us are just we don't know what to do because all the anger inside of us is just it frustrates us to see one of our own get treated like that. When you're doing what all Ron Paul supporters should be doing, which is trying to get him elected.
All Ron Paul supporters need to remember, I am from the South. I'm a Southerner, and we have a history of protecting ourselves and taking care of our own. Please, if you're confronted like this, be very passive. Go with the nonviolent resistance. It's the only way we can win. They're wanting to provoke us into fighting. Do not fight. Just go with a non-passive resistance. It's the only way to go.
Exactly, and that's what's going to work because then...
Now. Let's put the word now with it. Now, it's the only way to go.
That's right. And let me see if there was any last-minute questions anybody had posted. I know everyone. Ben Swan wants him, I know, but he knows that. He's going to be getting in contact. Everybody keeps posting about Ben Swan, so people are just jumping in here. You guys, he's going to contact Ben Swan after this interview, and he also said that if Alex decides to speak out, that he'll let Alex know to come on the show. So for everyone out there listening, we're going to do the best we can to get this up here. And Henry, anytime you have any updates, I'm sorry?
I would like to say that if anybody wanted to contact me, I am on Facebook. If they will send me a personal message, I will send my phone number. My phone number is listed on my Facebook page.
Well, okay, and what's your Facebook page fully?
My Facebook page is Henry Herford.
Henry Herford.
Yes.
Okay, and you guys sent him a message because I know everybody's up in the chat, and I'm pretty sure you're not in the chat room. So
no, I'm not.
Yeah, because I know you would have seen it by now. So I'm pretty sure people will be getting in contact with you, and you make sure you get in contact with Ben Swan because we all cannot wait to see you on Ben Swan and Reality Check, and that'll be great.
Okay, and if you need me for anything else, just feel free to call. I'm possibly going to Fort Worth, Texas for the Texas Convention this weekend. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I didn't plan to go, but if I'm feeling all right, I think I'm going to go.
Well, remember, Henry, I always tell my guests that come on, you're more than welcome. If you have a story, update, something going on, get back on the show. It's nothing. I do 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, so believe me, it just makes it easier for me.
Okay, well, feel free to call me at any time.
All right, Henry, I appreciate it, man. You take care, get some rest, and you make sure that you keep in contact, okay?
Okay, thank you a lot.
All right, Henry. All right, so I want to thank Henry for being on the show, and thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, I want all of you guys to jump on to RonPaulTribune.com as well. When you're listening to Ron Paul Radio, you can also be speaking your mind on RonPaulTribune.com. Click on the voice chat. We also have Angel Clark, I believe, coming up. You guys make sure you stay tuned for that. We got a lot of great hosts here on RonPaulRadio.com. You guys, there's no excuse that Ron Paul Radio shouldn't be out there everywhere. We know we can't trust the media. We know we can't listen to CNN, MSNBC, Fox. We know they're lying. So people like myself are here trying to do the best we can to get the truth out there, and we need your guys' help. So please support us, donate. You know, again, keep coming back to RonPaulRadio.com. I believe we even have an app now. You probably could check that out on the website. And I want to thank everyone. I've never had 70-some people in the chat room ever at any of my shows, and we did break a record for amount of listeners on my show as well. So I want to thank everybody who's tuning in, everyone who's listening. Don't forget that I'm on every day, 10 to 12 noon Eastern Time, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You know, we've had the Ron Paul supporter that was punched over in Oklahoma. We had her on. We had the Fish Sisters who was streaming the conventions. We've had Russell on from the Nevada convention. We've had Ginger on from the Maine convention. You guys, we're getting the truth out there, and we need your help. Without your help, it's not going to work. We're not going to be able to fight the mainstream. So please keep tuning in. Keep checking us out. I also post many of my episodes on YouTube. You guys can check that out at PACO 757. Again, on YouTube, PACO 757. Facebook is 2 words, PACO Elijah. And on Twitter, Occupy the MSM. And again, if you want to see me, you want to chat with me, talk to me personally or something, you can catch me throughout the day, any given time, on RonPaulTribune.com. Again, that's RonPaulTribune.com. Click on the voice chat. And, again, you can come in, speak your mind. A lot of like-minded Ron Paul supporters. We're just trying to get the word out there, you guys, and get Ron Paul to be president. And what I say is occupy the media because they're our biggest problem. You tell me something. You tell me what's causing, what's making it hard for our freedom and our Constitution to come back more than the media. There's no bigger weapon. That's the biggest weapon that they have in the bag. So that means we got to form our own weapon. You know, we got to make our weapon better. You know, we got to have better shows, better interviews. And people want to hear the truth. It's not that they want to be lied to. They just sometimes don't believe it. But if we keep pushing, we keep getting it out there, we're going to win this battle. We're going to win this war. And guess what? We're going to end all the wars. We're going to end the Fed, end the CIA, end the IRS. So you guys make sure you stay tuned. Again, I'm Paco. Thank you for tuning in. Keep listening to RonPaulRadio.com. I think we got Angel Clark coming up next. I'm your host. Peace.